I think this is like the last bit of content that I'm playing catch up on from when I was on vacation a bit ago, but today I want to talk a bit about Delta Force, the free-to-play competitor that a lot of people had high hopes for in regards to a free-to-play alternative to games like COD, Battlefield, and others, granting players a multiplayer, large-scale combat experience, a fleshed-out extraction mode experience that still remains a bit of an arcadey vibe, not as hardcore as things like Tarkov or others in the genre, and a recently released free-to-play co-op campaign that, having not gotten around to it yet with other games on my backlog, is apparently hard as balls and heavily reliant on squad mate help. The problem is, all of this is on PC for the time being, with a console release still being dangled like that carrot on a stick for a while now. So what gives? Well, unfortunately, the update we were granted a bit ago isn't quite what we may have been hoping to hear. So today we're running down what you need to know, drop your thoughts as we go along, drop a like if you enjoy the video, and make sure to subscribe, and definitely check out the second channel. Content starting up here again. I wanted it to be tonight, but I think it's going to be actually tomorrow. We've got a review of Split Fiction going up, and then going into other content, hopefully regularly here from here on out. But I think you'd like it. Check it out if you guys are interested. But anyways, let's get into it. So the initial anticipation for Delta Force's console release was Q1 2025. There, it was previously anticipated to join the PC counterpart as one-to-one, basically just playing catch up, being brought up to speed, and obviously we're in Q1 right now. We're actually fast approaching that already, which is kind of crazy that it's gone by that quick. So, well, where's the console version? In a dev blog, we got a bit of details about what to expect for not only this season, the next season, but all the way out until the rest of 2025. What was previously detailed was Season 1 being out right now, Season 2 bringing along things like night versions of selected maps, new weapons and attachments, vehicles, gadgets, operators, gameplay features, extensive updates to selected existing maps, and a new season pass and cosmetics. Season 3 would bring along all of that kind of stuff, plus a new warfare and operations map, along with things like a mini mode, player mobility extensions, and new gameplay features, and Season 4 kind of being a mixed bag of all of that kind of stuff. A new warfare map, not a new operations map, new weapons and attachments, new vehicles, gadgets, operators, gameplay features, and so on. But notably, out of an entire year of a roadmap here that was given, and admittedly, it isn't the most up-to-date thing, like this is what they're still displaying from when they first showed it a couple of months ago, but in a roadmap that was given for 2025, there was no mention of console on that list. So what gives? As of a recent update, in an official announcement from the game director Shadow, they said the console version was planned for release in Q1 2025. Unfortunately, we have some bad news. The release date may need to be postponed. However, I'd like to update you on our current progress. The development of the console version is going well. Some of the challenges we face now and in the future are mainly about ensuring input fairness, especially for a tactical shooter on consoles. How do we ensure that players on a different skill level can have a fair and balanced aiming experience? This is a key issue that we have to solve. Another issue that we face is optimizing the UI and overall interactions in the operations mode. Adapting the UI for this mode is quite complex, so we still need some time. After meeting with our relatively high internal standards, we can then launch it. We don't want to release an unfinished version. Our team is deeply committed to optimizing the console version and ensuring top quality upon release. I know that today I'll be talking to you about these issues and the current progress. This may be disappointing to some of you. I also want to take the opportunity to apologize. We will be working harder. To help everyone understand the latest developments on the console, we will soon release a detailed roadmap of our plans. This will include the progress and tasks we complete periodically and will be as open and transparent as possible with everyone. So right up front, well, the console version has been delayed. So right now it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing it in Q1. But what does this mean? Well, again, hopefully more details are coming soon. Though, I mean, I am late to covering this, and this happened just under 2 weeks ago at this point, so we haven't heard anything just yet. Maybe it's right on the horizon, maybe it's right at the turn of next week, maybe we still have a couple of weeks before we hear more, but fingers crossed. My initial reaction to this, though, is from a perspective of development, it'd be okay in most cases, but of course there's one big major but, which we'll get to in a second. But things like prioritizing input fairness in today's shooter ecosystem, it's a big thing. I mean, how long have we had that strength of aim assist in COD versus mouse and keys as a sort of debate among the community? Optimizing the game's performance as well is additionally something that's nice, and I'll usually happily be okay with that kind of announcement. Surprisingly, I actually do understand the UI concerns as well. This is one of those things that when you look at this kind of thing, you think, okay, it's just kind of like a design element choice here. of it. But honestly, having talked with plenty of devs over the years, UI is actually one of the more tricky things to do in development because you have everything linking back to specific inputs in this menu and how everything is laid out. So changing even the slightest bit can disrupt that house of cards, maybe even knock it all down. So the UI obviously will take some time a little bit as well. But ultimately, this is where the big but comes into play. It just kind of feels like they're dropping the ball a little bit on what could be a great competitor to what we have right now. PC players, cheating aside where it's seen, I don't play the extraction mode a ton, so it's not something that I notice personally a whole ton, and in the multiplayer, I again don't run into it all that much, but I can only speak to my own experiences. I'm not saying that it's not an issue, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but cheating aside, it's one of those things that it does seem like it offers something for everybody, that it's an enjoyable experience for those that take part, again, when you're not dealing with cheaters or some corny stuff like that. One huge thing that this game has to offer, besides being an alternative to multiplayer for COD and Battlefield, I think, is a console free-to-play extraction shooter. Right now, the genre is booming, absolutely, but it's one of those things that it's more so PC-focused than anything else. You have Tarkov, you have Grayzone, you have all these other games that are more hardcore and really task you with diving in deep to it, but it's more so PC than anything else, sometimes exclusively PC. So with a genre that's taking off more, it being a free-to-play version of what I think DMZ should have been, and updated with constant updates and events, console players would absolutely love to have this. So to miss out on that, you're missing out on a somewhat worrisome window that you have here in Q1 to really, I think, take advantage of the opportunity here. While no ETAs are given, 2025 does have two big competitors alone that are looking at this window here of the current year. I mean, you have Marathon and PUBG Black Budget, both of which, again, not too many details on when they'll release or gameplay details, but I'm looking forward to at least hearing out both of what those are. Really looking forward to seeing what Marathon has in store for that, and that was something that might be coming out in the next couple of months here with this, so we'll see. But again, it seems like they're kind of missing this window. But I guess that leads to when the next window could be. When, if not in Q1, could we see this launch? This is where it's all speculation, it's all just educated guesses, but from taking a shot in the dark here and kind of huffing the copium and hopium at the same time, my hope is obviously sooner rather than later. But if you pick up on the patterns of that past roadmap that we just mentioned, one thing stands out to me. Season 2 is the only season listed without New Warfare and Operation Map or Maps. Some seasons, of course, offer more than others, like New Warfare Maps came in Season 1, designated map for each in Season 3, and then one Warfare map in Season 4, with no Operations map in Season 4 as well. They're being a little specific with it, but also enough that it's ambiguous enough that they don't give any specifics out, if that makes sense. Season 2 is, if based on quarters, slated to be about 3 months long. That's a long time for there to be minimal content offering on the side of new content. But what wouldn't be minimal is an entirely new set of players, perhaps on PlayStation and Xbox, that get to experience the already existing content, allowing them to play catch up and experience everything where everything is new to them, maybe not necessarily just the PC player base. So fingers crossed this delay isn't anything crazy and not super late into 2025, but instead something that pushes a little closer maybe into the early portions of Q2, April, mid-April, late April, early May. But we'll have to wait and see. But for now, that's where we're at here with this. Delta Force unfortunately has a little bit longer of a wait for consoles, which I'm really bummed about. I do like jumping on and playing the game here, and I would love to end up making more content on Delta Force for you guys, but I feel like it's this weird situation where it's right now such a niche sort of community with it that I think it's a cool game in concept and what it can be for a competitor or alternative if you want to play that, but with not as many people being able to play it, I kind of feel weird being like, hey, check out this game you can't play for a lot of people, if that makes sense. But anyways, want to fill you guys in on the new informations and details here out of the last couple of weeks here. Again, last thing we're really catching up here from when I was traveling, but for now, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think here of this? Are you hoping to see Delta Force launch at the beginning of Q2 here, maybe next month in April or in May? Let me know. If you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And of course, if you aren't new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so don't miss a single thing running all things Delta Force, Black Ops, and more FPS content. I'd love to have in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.